I would appreciate if you could speak about the rise of fascism today in the context of war. In the rise of the 40s, it led to World War. And today, we're seeing the drumbeat for war in North Korea. And from everything I've heard, Trump is eager to attack.
Fascism, again, is this political culture which thrives on crisis and hatred and resentment and scapegoats and so on and so forth. Given the fact that human nature did not change, that we are also those insecure people with our own fears and own frustrations and our own need for security and whatsoever, you do not, in such a period, you only need a spark. Now, a few sparks. World War I started with the murder of a crown prince, a silly crown prince, okay? And the whole thing exploded in Europe and nobody expected it. Nobody expected it. There's this wonderful book by Christopher Clark, The Sleepwalkers, which is a perfect description how the elites, blinded by got us into, which got Europe in ruins. The Balkans. With this ideology, you know, our tribe, our nation first, and you only needed a spark. In my first book, Nobility of Spirit, I start to tell the story of my friendship with the daughter of Thomas Mann, Elisabeth Mann-Borghese, who, by the way, was the godmother of the environmental movement. She was the first. And she told us that she was with her father and mother on holidays in 1933. In Swiss, and then Hitler came to power and they realized we cannot go back. But you know, she was a high school girl and Hitler, yeah, he was the democratically chosen leader of the country, so she just took the train from St. Moritz and went back to Munich. And then she got to know, she became aware of the fact that her girlfriends, who 2 weeks ago were still in awe of a teacher whom they all loved already for a whole year because he was such a magnificent teacher, they started to hate him because he was against Hitler. And she told me it only takes 2 weeks. It only takes 2 weeks before your best friends, your best neighbors can become your worst enemies. I still have to read it, but Omer Bartov, an Israeli historian, just wrote a fascinating book on what happened in a village in the Ukraine, where the best friends started to kill each other. So again, this killing nature is in us. Now, on the sparks, look, if Trump and the others know their classics, and Putin knows his classics, okay? So Putin, to make sure that he could continue, he needed the war in the Ukraine, because he wanted to have his people behind our president, you know, because so if they know their classics, if there's not a crisis, they will create a crisis. You still remember this funny movie, Whack the Dog? Well, that can happen in real time. And so, look, I mean, again, things can easily happen in the Middle East. Or, God forbid, there will be another terrorist attack in your country. Then what? You know, and so what is so dangerous is the cultivation of aggression. And the cultivation of us and we. So they and we. And it is these things. Again, human nature did not change. And when you have a politics which is thriving on these things and which is in awe of, okay, you know, we have the military, we are the stronger, the best. It can be North Korea, it can be Middle East, it can be an attack, it can be everything.